Hollywood is known for its trends. Within the last 2 decades, we've seen a lot of things come and go. X-Men popularized superhero films, The Dark Knight popularized gritty reboots or remakes, Harry Potter popularized making young adult books into movies, The Avengers popularized shared universes, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 popularized killing your shared universe with your first attempt at it.
Stay with me.
A lot of these trends have come and gone, but this summer there have been 2 particular releases that have intrigued me because of how awful they look. There's something that's been bugging me about both of them that I couldn't quite put my finger on until recently. I think we're seeing the start of a new Hollywood trend. Now you might be wondering, what connection is there between Skyscraper and The Meg? Well, besides them both starring muscle-bound bald men who starred in the Fast and Furious franchise, Skyscraper is a film starring The Rock as he attempts to rescue his family from some bad guys who are trying to steal something from the tallest building in the world. Meanwhile, The Meg stars Jason Statham as they discover there's a megalodon in the Pacific Ocean and set out to kill it before it can get to populated areas. Do either of these plots sound familiar? Oh. Wait, but what do you mean they're just remaking Die Hard and Jaws? In Skyscraper, The Rock has a prosthetic leg, and it takes place in Hong Kong. And in The Meg, they have some weird underwater base, and there's a giant squid. It's not the same movie.
Yes, that's what we wanted you to think.
See, here's the brilliance in the laziness of these 2 films. It's an ideal situation for a studio. Take a classic film, remake it, and put a famous action star as its lead to get more interest. But how do we avoid people immediately seeing through our plan? Well, why don't we up the ante? Instead of it just being a regular old building, why don't we make it
the tallest building in the world?
And instead of a great white, why don't we make it a megalodon?
But wait! There's more!
What is the biggest market for film outside the United States?
China!
Within the last few years, Hollywood has realized how lucrative a market the world's most populated country is. And you'd better believe they're gonna take as much advantage of that as they can. Now remember, we want to market our film to Chinese audiences with as little effort as possible. So how do we do that? Oh, I know. Why don't we make Jason Statham's love interest Chinese? Oh, you wanted a white wife for The Rock? Well, why don't we set the movie in Hong Kong? But Hong Kong doesn't have the tallest building in the world. That's why it's the fictional tallest building in the world. Now, Skyscraper didn't do great at the US box office, but it's already made back its budget worldwide, and The Meg is doing considerably well outside the US. My point being, the United States doesn't really matter anymore when it comes to the box office. Studios are consistently seeing how lucrative foreign markets are, so making quality films has become less important, and more just about how can we get Chinese audiences to go see our movies. Now this wouldn't bother me if we were getting quality films as a result, but when our attempts to do so look like this, and are lazy and incredibly transparent in their attempts to get Chinese audiences in theaters, I gotta call BS. So with that, I have one final thing to say to both of these films.